Thank you, Bob. All right. Well, thank you all for staying. It's encouraging to see so many people that are still with us this morning. It's still morning, isn't it? Okay, so what we're going to try to do. Bob, what time are we supposed to wrap this up?
Well, we have to be out by 1, so it's probably 12:40, and so we take banners down. So.
Okay.
12:30, 12:30.
So we have about an hour and 25 minutes. You guys all got a chance to stretch, I hope, already? We should have led you in a work. My wife could have taken you out and led you in a workout. She did lead boot camps. But you may not be able to sit down without feeling it in your legs when she gets through the squats. So we'll skip that, right? All right, so we're going to talk today about getting started. Some of you might say, well, Josh, we already have a nice sized business. So am I in the right place? Yes, because I always tell people that this training is great for anybody who wants to build a director-sized business like we saw earlier. You know that business I showed you an extra $1,000 a month? Remember that? Before we wrapped it up? Okay. If somebody wants to become a director, or let's say they are a director and they want to develop 3 new directors this year, okay, that would lead to a really nice residual income there. So whether you want to become a director, develop 3 in your team, this training is perfect. All right. If you don't catch everything here in the next hour and 25 minutes, good news for you. We have a webinar training Monday at 1 p.m. Okay, and it's a webinar. You can register for it at neolifeevents.com. Next month, we'll be continuing it, but I've got to do a couple changes, and then I'll put all the events up to register, for you to register for that next week sometime. All right, so with that, let's jump into this. You've already heard my mother's story of why I'm so passionate about this training here. Because I started off by sharing that with you, and the reality is, if we don't train promoters and help start new business builders, business owners with NeoLife, we're not going to end the trend. Does that make sense? All right, I know we have some new people here too. Does that make sense? I mean, we can't do this alone. So this training, I get really excited about doing this and excited about you being here, because this is absolutely critical toward our mission to end the trend. And I hope that you get super passionate about recruiting and training new business builders in your organization, okay? Perfect timing. I want to talk about why the timing is absolutely perfect to be building a NeoLife business. Can we take a moment on that before we get into how to build it? Because, some of you, if you're not asking this question, you're going to have people who do ask it, who say, okay, we've been in business for 60 years. Why now? Why now? First of all, why aren't we even already a household name here after 60 years? And why would the next 60 be any different? Is that a fair question to ask? Let's answer that. The CDC and World Health Organization, I shared this earlier, predict that 3 out of 4 deaths by 2020 will be caused by chronic diseases. Okay, so from the standpoint of a business, if you're finding a business that serves a real need in the community, is that a problem? Yes? Yes? Okay. Let's take a closer look at this. The problem, this was on every major newspaper across the country 2 years ago. In fact, I was on my way to Spokane, Washington, and had a layover in, this paper may have been actually Portland. But it says, Americans don't eat enough fruits, vegetables, whole grains, seafood, aka omega-3s, right, from fish. In that category would be fish, right? It says half of all U.S. adults, about 117 million people, have can you read that up there? Preventable. Sounds like we can do something about it, right? Diet-related. Sounds like we can do something about that, right? Preventable diet-related chronic disease. Two-thirds of Americans are obese or overweight thanks to a deadly combination of poor diet and lack of exercise. Do we talk about all those things this morning? Does NeoLife have a solution to help people in all those areas right there? Yes or yes?
Yes.
Yes. And then it goes on to talk about the staggering cost to our society of these health challenges. So the timing is absolutely perfect. No wonder the health industry is growing more rapidly than ever as consumers are asking, who do I trust and what do I take? I've got to do something. Okay? So from my personal experience, 20 years in the business, I have never found a better time to be having this conversation. Coast to coast, it doesn't matter where you are. I've been everywhere now, okay? Just about, right? And, every now and then people will say, oh, well, it's hard in this area or it's hard in that area. It takes patience. People are people and they don't know what they don't know, okay? But honestly, there are no excuses why we can't reach every city in America with this message. It'll take some patience. You'll have to be just like the family was who shared NeoLife with our family. That's probably the first lesson we can learn on building this business is that family took 4 months of following up with my parents before they got started. I don't think my mom would be here today had they not followed up. So we're going to talk about a why for building the business, but it's not to be greater than us and our feelings in the moment, right? Because we got to push through that to follow up because people don't know what they don't know. Okay, moving along. So people are looking for solutions. NeoLife has a 60-year track record. I often run across people who say, well, I need to know more about these products. I just need to know more to build a business. I had a 92-year-old lady come in my first 2 weeks on the job as corporate. And it nearly broke my heart. The sweetest lady ever. But she sums up what often I hear from people that want to build this business. And she said, Josh, I've been using these products for something like 40, 45 years. She owns several salons, several. And she said, you know what? I've always thought that when I grew up, I would do NeoLife. So she had just sold, I believe she just sold the last spa. And she said, I'm ready. She said, but you got to get training. She's like, there's the other lady who's like 89 that was with her. She's like, that's right. I mean, you never know. They might ask you something and you don't know the answer. She said, so I went through this training. I did it once. I'm doing it twice. And the other lady said, I'm taking computer classes. That's pretty impressive at 92, right?
Yeah.
But it was all about thinking it was about more knowledge. And you know what? Here's the reality is we don't need more health experts to solve this. We have the experts. We employ the best in the world, okay? What we need is people who care about others and are willing to go out there. And we're going to talk about how to do this. Exactly 4 steps to how to go out there and make a ton of friends and how to discover needs without being salesy or pushy. How many of you like the idea of that? Because when I started out, I thought this is not for me. I wanted to help people, but I was hating them, almost patting me on the head like, oh, son, you'll be a good little sales boy one day. That's not what I wanted, right? So anyway, we're going to talk about how to do that. But reality is all you need to know is we've been around for 60 years. Try the products, feel the difference, right? Listen to the CDs, listen to the conference calls, go to shareneolife.com, watch it. We're going to talk about how to use the tools, but you do not need to be the expert. You just need to be the proof the product works. That means be on the journey using the products. You agree with that?
Yeah.
So 60 years, need I say any more or any of us? Really, we don't. Now, network marketing. Okay, there's a lot we can say about this, but I won't. But let me tell you this. Network marketing just had its best 2 years ever. So don't think, oh, well, people are negative about this. I'll have newcomers who will say, oh, I ran into somebody who said, is this like Amway? Or, and they got scared, right? Let me tell you something. Network marketing, if it's done right, is the most fair, ethical, and powerful form of distribution. Beyond a shadow of a doubt. Absolutely is. Now, I want to redefine the whole industry because there are good players and there are bad players, right? There are. But the way NeoLife has done it for 60 years, it is the best compensation plan that's fair from the new person to the seasoned leader that's built a large organization. It's fair for everyone, and everyone can succeed if they choose to stick at it long enough. We're all at different stages of our personal growth and development. Leaders aren't born, leaders are made. We'll talk more about that. But network marketing, you should be proud of that. And if you're not, it is going to limit your success. Because if you're shy about that and not confident in that, then it's going to impact your business. So NeoLife just had our best year in over a decade in North America. So we're doing great around the world, but we care about right here where we're building at the moment, right? For those of us in the U.S. And I can tell you we're having an incredible year. And this quarter we thought last year was incredible. This quarter is beating last quarter at the same time last year. So very excited about that. And I want to thank you all for being a part of that. But this whole Pearson organization, without starting to call out names, but everybody here just pretty much is in the Pearson organization and Blaine organization. Both organizations are having incredible past year. And Bob and I were messaging back and forth. We're talking about the rate of growth in your organization the last couple of years. Amazing. So give yourself a huge round of applause for that. Thank you for being a part of that. Okay, so do you think the time is now? Is this a great time or what?
Yes.
Okay. Now, let's talk about how do we do it? How do we get out there and end the trend? So we're going to walk through the Getting Started book. Now, we do not need to have these in our hands. It's actually good that we don't because I don't want to lose you in the book. But I want you to know this is downloadable in the back office. Okay? In the back office. That means you go to your website, click log in on the right-hand side, top right-hand side, and print this book out. So I want to encourage you to do that. It also comes in all business kits to get started. But everything you need to know about building a business is contained between these two pages, from the front page to the last, that little booklet, small little booklet. I've added a few things, which you might say, well, why did you add that? Well, guess what? It's still, everything you need to do should be duplicatable. Just send them to the training. All right? If you say, well, that's not in my book, that's okay. We're all constantly updating it, revising it slightly. There are a few things that aren't in there, but just send them to my weekly training and I'll do the training for you. How you like that? Is that duplicatable? Mike? Yep. So, all right, when you crack the first cover, it says, welcome to the NeoLife family. So this will show you some of the team in the U.S., some of the international team. I say some because that's what it is, just some. But start by if you met Jerry or Kendra at convention. You know, if you're walking your brand new person through this, I'm going to talk from that perspective, like train the trainer. So some of this is new to you, I know, but the goal is you can walk out of here and either send them to the training I do, or you can do this yourself right away. So you might tell them a little story about somebody you met here. Hopefully you could tell a story if you met me. I'm not as bad as you might have thought, right? It's okay. And then proceed through. The NeoLife culture. This is something you might want to read this whole thing, but I want to point out a couple things that are very important, I think, certainly to me, I think to all of us. Absolute integrity. Does that matter? Yes. 60 years of backing that up, right? Absolute integrity. People are number one. We live by the golden rule. Do unto others you have to do unto you. I've seen that, bless you, for 25 years. Products that work. I'll tell you this quick story. Bless you. Bless you. Bless you. I was first day on the job. You know, I've been a promoter for 20 years, right? Using the products for 25 years. And, you know, there's if you will, a romantic story that we've all heard about who NeoLife is and what we're about out in the field. And I thought, you know what? I know this is true because we've been so skeptical checking this out. And my parents are always right by the scientist asking questions about every ingredient and everything, right? But I thought this will be different. I'm going to be behind the curtain, if you will. And it was pretty neat the first day on the job through the employee handbook. It was about unique and superior products. The whole focus wasn't a great compensation plan, a great business opportunity, although you will have that if you have unique and superior products, yes? And it was so neat to see that everyone from the forklift driver to the CEO, you know, gets this training, that we're about providing unique and superior products, quality without compromise. And I've seen that play out over and over behind the scenes as well as more stories that you even hear out in the field, that commitment. So that's cool. Next thing is opportunity at every stage of life. So let's look at a couple of the benefits of having your own business. And this is something I need your help to go out there, help me share this with people. Because sometimes we get, like people like me whose mom's health was turned around, we get so focused on the products, we almost people would think that we think there's something wrong with making money, right? How many of you have to go to work, get a paycheck, provide for your family? How many of you have mortgages to pay and food, bills and all that? Let's talk about what NeoLife can do. I'm going to get better at that. We need to. People have to have a job, and NeoLife is way better than a job, right? So let's help them dream a little bit. What's possible? Well, let's just take the middle column, people in their 40s and 50s. What's one of the problems that actually exists across all these age groups is almost 2 in 3 Americans don't have enough savings to pay for a $500 car repair. That's sad, right? We can do something about that. I say sad because we don't want that to be true, do we? No. Let's help fix that. Or a $1,000 emergency room bill. USA Today showed just a couple months ago all the generations showing how much debt they carry. That was heartbreaking. I thought just an extra $1,000 a month would make all the difference in the world. So, but what are some other benefits? Get healthy, right? Belong to a passionate community. I love it that everyone from retired folks to kids coming out of high school, an opportunity to belong to a community of passionate people on a mission. right? That makes life so much more rewarding and enjoyable, doesn't it? To do something on purpose that can actually make an impact. Get out of debt. We talked about that. Build a strong financial future. Have more time. You know, people who want to have time, freedom, flexibility. I mean, I'll tell you something. In my NeoLife business, there was a time, because I started 18 years old, that I thought having an office with my name on it would be pretty cool. So we rented an office, and I got to do that for 1 year. And boy, was I ready to get out of that lease and get back to my basement with complete freedom, and my kids could come down and sit in my lap while I was making phone calls, and flexibility, and the idea I could run my business from anywhere with that cell phone. Anywhere. Isn't that amazing? Mm-hmm. Yeah. You're not trapped anywhere. So anyway, that's pretty cool. Travel. Anybody like to travel? I mean, on this trip, I've been around people. Yesterday, a guy who's been in the business, his family, since 1965. He said, I've been all over the world with NeoLife, paid for. That's pretty cool, right? I'll never forget Bob picking me up in South Africa. He's been all over the world, right? He called me one day, this is like 10 years ago. Pack your bags. I don't care if you can get out of your, because we were, we had our reservations. Don't worry about that. Pack your bags. You want to go with me. So Chelsea and I, we hurry, pack our bags. We're down there at the front. He picks us up, comes rolling up with this beautiful BMW, and takes us on a tour with his friend. What's his name?
Luki van Tierpen.
Luki. And you can say the name just right, too, so that's why I asked him. But Luki takes us for a ride. And anyway, what an incredible time. But in other words, it was fun. I've been all over the world, and you get to spend time with people like Bob. But anyway, you think you know anybody who'd like those benefits of their own business? Yes? No?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, talk about it. Talk about it, right? Don't just talk about what our products will do. Talk about what the career with NeoLife can do. Why be shy about that? If you don't get bold about it, we're not going to end the trend. Does that make sense? So, all right, first steps to success. Know your ID. Help your new person write down their ID number. I see it all the time traveling. People are sharing NeoLife, and they don't even know what their website is. Right? So help your new person, write down their website, save it, their PIN number, how to log in, connect on social media. These are first steps to success. Don't count this time on social media, though, as business building time. Okay? Count this as your fun time, right? Your entertainment. But it's good entertainment because you don't feel like you're alone. You see what people are doing all over the world. It's pretty cool, isn't it? Would you agree? How many of you are connected to the NeoLife social media page? It's pretty neat, right? It's like, even though we're what I call a ground floor opportunity, and I never thought I'd utter those words. Because when people say ground floor opportunity, I run. It means they're probably going out of business in 5 years. It's the only thing they can talk about is if we somehow make it, we could be big one day. Well, NeoLife is rock solid, debt-free, 50 countries around the world plus, but yet in the U.S., most people never heard of us. That's what I call ground floor opportunity. Ground floor with a real opportunity, right? And so my point in saying that is you may feel like you're alone, though, in your little corner of the state or the country, but this is pretty cool. So connect on social media, help your team connect. And now we get into the important stuff. Okay, yes, sir. So I work for Bob, whatever he says do is yes, sir. All right, so develop your why. Now, you might be saying, Josh, start talking to me about how to talk to people. I want to get into that. We'll get there. I'm going to share some things with you that will literally, simple things, that will transform your business. It did it for me. It did it for my parents. But before we get there, first we got to have a motivation to actually get out there and do something. Do you agree with that?
Yes.
Bob, has the company ever called you? Have I ever called you and said, Bob, you got to work more hours. Bob, you got to sign up more people. Bob, you got to do more. No, I work for Bob. This whole thing is turned around the way most businesses are, right? So I find out, Bob, what do you want to achieve? Right? Same thing you do with your team. What do you want out of your business? How can I help you get there? So first, you're going to have a why, because there's no clocking in, right? Punching the clock. Have you ever done that? Do you like that? No fun there, right? Nobody's going to tell you. You have to be motivated, though. So let's talk about what your why is. And we're going to come back to this at the very end, and I'm going to ask you to write that down in a couple words on a sheet of paper, okay? And it's not, I want to help people. You might, before you pull your eggs out or bricks and start stoning me, hang on a second. You're like, it's not about helping people. Yes, you're a part of a company. That's what we're all about. Our mission statement is in the trend. I already know that about you. But when people say all the time to me, my why is I want to help people. You know what my next question is? How many people did you help last week? How many people did you talk to last week? Okay, it's a little painful for a moment, right? But the reality is, the reason why you show up every day at work is you got bills to pay, you got a mortgage to pay, food to put on the table. Let's get a little deeper on what will motivate you. And so I'll start asking, what do you mean by that? You want to help people. Talk to me about your family. Talk to me about your dreams. What is it that you want to achieve? What is it that you want to do? Right? And we start getting deep. I'll say, tell me more. What do you mean by that? And I'll identify when you start to get possibly emotional, or you start to shake as it starts getting real, or you start to get really excited, or get close to a why. Right? And your why can change. For me, in the beginning, it was just to make enough to be able to marry Chelsea. It's a pretty good why, right?
Yeah.
And then after that, it was, to be able to provide, for the children as our family grew, and then to go on that next trip, and to buy that first home, and then to pay off the first home, and to have multiple houses debt-free. And we did that, and, it keep growing, right? What is it that you want to accomplish? But you need to be clear about that. And I'm going to say the last thing I'm going to say about that is this. Imagine your why is like this. Imagine this is a 40-foot long plank of wood on the carpet. And I ask you, Steffi, will you walk across this for $20 on the ground? No risk. Just, can you do this for $20? Of course, right? Now, what if I took that and I put it across 200-story buildings? This plank. Would you walk that for $20?
No.
No way. Every now and then a guy will say yes, because we're that was like me at 20 years old. But the ladies, I always ask the ladies, because they'll never, no, they're pretty smart. No way. And then I tell you that your child or your grandchild is in the other building, and the only way to get to them is to crawl, scoot, walk, whatever it takes across that plank. Would you do it then? Yes. What changed?
Motivation.
Your motivation. You're going to have to find a motivating reason to build this business. You got to. That's the people, they'll fail in this business, and they'll blame it on the industry. They'll blame it on other factors. It all comes back to you didn't have a strong enough motivating reason to build this business, because I'm going to show you what you need to do. I'm going to show you how to succeed. Okay? But if your why is not there, it means nothing. So you not only need to know your own why, just as important as you need to know what your team's why is. Because you can't motivate them according to your why, right? And when you get good at helping people dream, that's why I went over all that there. Help them dream. Help them to see the possibilities of what this business can provide. And now we're getting somewhere. Does that make sense? Yeah. So now we have a why. Next step is when you break that. What are the goals that you want to achieve along the way? Lifestyle goals, business goals. How much income do we need to make to check the first goal off? And so now I start by showing you how to make an extra $1,000 a month. We already went over this. But I want to ask you, I want to go over this one more time. If you have any questions about this, ask me now. Okay? Because I want to make sure we're all confident on how to at least earn 1,000. Because if you can earn 1,000, you can earn much more than that. You ready? First step is you get your products for free. How many people do you need to share it with to get it free?
3.
3. They need to be what? Club members or promoters to get it free? Club members. Now, if they turn into a promoter, that's even better. That means you are on the fast track. Okay, and I'll show you that in a moment. That's really good. But to get your products for free, you're going to need 3 club members. And they need to be on what?
AutoShip.
On AutoShip and on a health pack. That's great. Breakfast pack. That's what no, that's good. I'm glad you didn't say Pro Vitality. Breakfast pack, the most popular. Either that or a weight loss pack or a sports pack, right? Breakfast pack is great. You're getting the amino acids that help to unlock the Pro Vitality's ability to create killer T cells and all the amazing things. You really need both for best results. So good, a breakfast pack. So a breakfast pack on AutoShip. That's simple. If you log into your back office, it'll show you who you have on AutoShip and how many points you have and how close you are to getting your health pack free. It's all there, super simple. You just log in, click on the 3 for free up at the top. All right, now, but let's help 3 get it free. Could you not help 3 people do the same thing, get their products for free? Of course you can, right? Now, some of you, I've got a big why, and you're going to do this tomorrow. Some of you are going to take a year. That's up to you. I don't know what your motivation is. Maybe for you, it's not as, you're not as, it doesn't have to happen tomorrow. Okay, I don't know. This is your business. Next step 2 is go find 3 people. I always say look for 3. Do you want more than 3? Absolutely. But start with 3 promoters. Who are the next 3? I'm always looking for 3 in the next town, the next city, the next state. I'm always focused on 3. I'm not about recruiting everybody in the world or in the country. I can't work with that many. But, so don't worry about that. You won't. But focus on the next 3, okay? And then roll up your sleeves and help them succeed. Do you know how many, the best-selling author of all time, do you know who that is? Yeah, right. Some of you are like, yeah, give a chance for everyone. So I'll think about it. That's right. Jesus, best-selling author of all time. Doesn't matter who you are, what your belief is, that's just a fact. He's the best-selling author, right? And how many people did he train that we know of while he was here? How many people were in his training program? 12. He has 3 that he did everything with, and then 12. Okay, in this business, he actually, I say, invented network marketing. Because I can't find any other great example of anybody doing this before him. If you have one, tell me. But he did it very effectively. He had 3 trained, and then he told them, 3 at the inner circle, but 12, and then he sent out 72, but he focused on 12. And in the end, he said, go ye in all the world and teach other people. Disciple, mentor, teach, train, whatever word you want to fill in, right? Because if you try to do it all your own, you only have how many hours in a day? How many hours do you guys have in a day? 36. I'm moving here. I am moving here.
Feels like it.
Feels like he has so much energy, he goes 36 hours. We have 24 hours in a day, but why is it that some people get so much more done in 24 and others just struggle to get by? It's about leveraging and maximizing those hours. Would you agree? So one of my favorite quotes, which I don't have up here, but a lot of times I'll put it up. Can I share it with you? One of my favorite quotes? It changed my life. It literally did. These simple, there's 2 parts to it, but it changed my life. It changed how I view everything. Everything. From serving on nonprofits, to business, to ministry, everything. It says, high impact. Actually, the way I learned it was wealth, but this is also true of high impact. And how many of you want to live a life of high impact? Okay, for me, I want that for everyone on the planet. Okay, so this is high impact is hidden from those who must do everything themselves. How many people do you know who say, well, if you're going to get it done right, you got to do it yourself, right? I've thought the same thing. I'm a bit of a perfectionist, which I have to work on because perfectionists, and people who try to do everything themselves, I've had to learn to give that up, and I still struggle with that, But you got to let go of that, and you got to slow down, teach, train other people, because the second half says high impact, or even same thing is true of wealth, is revealed to those patient enough to train other people. Does that make sense? Somebody said to me recently, well, Josh, I'm not a leader. They left the training at the end. They said their breakthrough moment was realizing that leaders aren't born, leaders are made. So every one of us can learn how to influence other people. In fact, we'll get to that. That's the best thing that ever came out of this business for me. It's not health. It's actually just personal growth. So I want you to start looking for 3 people who want to, and don't be bold about this. Hey, this company's growing, expanding. I'm looking for 3 people. Ask everyone, every customer you have, every person you talk to. I'll get to that in a moment, but I'm going to get to it now. Don't discriminate. Let everyone know we're growing and expanding. We're looking for people. You know anyone? Right? Just like Fry's and Home Depot and Walmart did. So that right there is an extra $1,000 a month. People or more. People say, well, I want to earn more. Go help develop 6 businesses this size. It's up to you. I don't know how soon you do it. Maybe you do it in a year. Maybe you do it in 6 years. At the end of the day, it's residual income. 100,000 that's residual goes a whole lot further, right? That's residual than a one-time, one and done, right? Do the work and get a paycheck. With this, I'm still making money on business I got brought in when I was 18 years old. Is that pretty cool? That's pretty awesome. Yes, I'm blessed. So, all right, steps to success. First step is become a manager. That's the first step. How can you become a manager? Purchase a manager business kit or accumulate 500 points in a month. Each product has a certain amount of PV points. They're called purchase volume points. And so purchase a manager business kit, or just you plus everyone else you share NeoLife with. Adds up to 500, you're a manager. Congratulations. How many of you are managers or higher in the room? All right, look at that. Now, how many of you are managers? Do we have any managers? Who's that, Bob?
Carrie is a senior manager.
Okay, let's get the senior manager. Senior manager. That's where you want to go. Skip manager, go straight to senior manager. Carrie, congrats. So a senior manager, you purchase a senior manager business kit or accumulate 1,000 points, and you become a senior manager. Now you're earning a 10 to 15% sales volume bonus. Okay? Yes?
Kramer's and Muzak's are also senior managers.
Kramer's and Muzak's, yes.
And so is Jill.
Yeah, and Jill, congratulations. Y'all, let's give them a huge round of applause. And they're doing, I happen to know, they've done that and more than that. They're actually on their way to the next level, okay, which is director. Now, this is where it gets really exciting. That's the size business I showed you earlier. A director, if you want to become a director your first month, you purchase one of our business kits, a manager or senior manager, and you accumulate 4,000 points. That model I showed you earlier, do you know how many points that was? We said each person bought 100 points. A breakfast pack, you know how many points a breakfast pack is? That's 90 right there. And we haven't even, now nobody's, that doesn't include the tea. How many of you love the NeoLife Energy Tea? Oh, it's amazing. You know why I like it? It's not just for the energy. I have plenty of energy most of the time. For me, it's the adaptogenic blend of herbs. They give clarity of focus and thinking. I don't care if you like the taste or not, you'll fall in love with how you feel. You will fall in love with how you, if you give just a few times, oh my gosh, it's amazing. Anyway, so you get my point. The average person does far more than 100 points. And we haven't even talked about biodegradable cleaners. Yes?
Sorry, I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Does the tea come within the pack or is that separate?
That's separate. So if you were to add like a tea to the breakfast pack, you're over 100 points.
So the weight loss packet has the
No.
I thought something had it in it. Maybe
No,
it doesn't.
nothing does.
Nothing does.
That's an add-on.
All right.
Good question. So, but that model I showed you earlier is 5,200 points. You know what I'm talking about earlier? The model, this two-step plan? That was a car bonus there too. If you just did 100, each person did 100 points. Okay. Anyway, so become a director your first month if you purchase a business kit, or it's okay, become a senior manager, and then the next month, or whenever, do 4,000 points to become a director. Now, the second month you do a director, you get $500 in free product. Is that pretty cool?
Yes.
Yeah.
Huge benefit.
And then, and you know, Wayne, you came right out of Raleigh and became a director, was it that month or the next month?
That month.
That month. Yeah, let's give a huge hand to Wayne. And then earn $500 the second month. All right, next thing, Emerald Director. This is where you want to be. This business is never more complicated than becoming an Emerald Director and developing Emerald Directors in your business. Seriously, that's it. I'm going to show you how you climb all the way to the top just by knowing this. Emerald Director is the model I showed you earlier, just done every month consistently. 4,000 points or higher is an Emerald Director if you do it 3 months in a row. So, achieve 3 consecutive months of 4,000 points, you'll earn a maximum 20% sales volume bonus. And then you become eligible to earn a car bonus of $500 to $1,000 every month. How many of you love the car bonuses? I like to get $800 to $1,000 car bonus every single month. Okay? And that's cash that I can use for whatever I want. So we've actually used that to buy real estate through the years. Okay? I've had really nice cars, and then I've had $500 cars.